right now. I want to help you communicate with your kids better than ever before. You have to be able to communicate with your kids in a way that is going to allow them to push their boundaries and to be able to be redirected very easily if they are getting out of sorts with their demeanor, to put it lightly. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to isolate exactly what it is that's causing the problem for our kids. What is causing them to lose it? Why are they crying? Why are they throwing a temper tantrum? What is that? And we have to ask them to be able to understand where they're coming from. And they're not going to, most of the time, a 2-year-old is not going to be able to articulate what it is that is bothering them, but you have to ask them anyway. When you ask them, they will probably understand what you're asking because it's going to be related to the behavior that they're doing. So why are you doing this right now, Mr. Penguin? Why are you just throwing a temper tantrum? Why are you so upset? Are you scared? Are you mad? Or are you wanting something? What do you want? Those are really the 3 major things that drive kids, well, anybody, right? We're motivated by either pleasure or pain, as Tony Robbins would put it, right? So human nature, we are going to either be seeking something that's positive, something that is fun, that's pleasurable, that is in the kid world, it would be something that basically makes them feel loved or safe or having fun. This is the world for a kid. In their imagination can run wild. It's great. It allows them to be able to experience things in a way that most adults cannot, but it also can cause them to develop anxieties and have stuff going on in their mind that we don't understand because it's illogical, because it's in this imaginary world. But it's still under the same principles of seeking pleasure or avoiding pain. So if they are trying to avoid pain, if they're scared about something and we can't identify what it is, if they've, like for the water, for instance, if they feel like they're falling, and a lot of times that is one of the major hurdles that kids have to overcome, is that sensation of buoyancy or the feeling of falling. So I have to replace that concern they have that they feel like they're falling with something that's positive. So instead of it being a focus on, why are you so why are you so scared about swimming? It's, I know that the water is making you feel like you're flying, right? Do you feel like you're flying? Have you ever been to the moon before? No. Have you ever been flying through the sky in the clouds? No. Well, then that's why this is bothering you. So in making it okay to feel that way is very important. That's basic psychology, is that you want your emotions, you want your feelings to be validated, right? So we want to do that for our kids. So if they're mad about something, we want to acknowledge it. If they're scared about something, we want to acknowledge it. But sometimes we have to ask them questions and try to really get a feel for sometimes just their body language, or just using our intuition on what it is that could be causing a problem, and then validating that it's okay to feel that way. You're not the only one that's scared of how this feels, right, in the water, because we've never been to the moon. Everyone has to get used to the feeling of flying. But then I will take that, so I identify it, I validate it, and then I'm going to reframe it. I'm going to say the water will hold you up, right? The water will hold you up. So you don't have to worry. Did you know that astronauts actually train in the water? They do that because it's the same sensation as that they'll have when they're on the moon. So I'm reframing it. So now they're curious and they're using their imagination, and then I can take that and I can apply it to a new result that I want, a new reaction to the same feeling. So then I say, okay, we're going to play a game. So I throw them up in the air and give them that feeling of falling, and in a fun way, right? So I'm redirecting, I'm changing that feeling from being a negative thing to a positive. And then I put them I hold them underneath their arms so that their legs are behind them, and they feel that sensation of buoyancy. And tell them, hey, the water will hold you up. The water will hold you up. You don't have to worry because the water will hold you up. I have them give me 5s, and now I've started to take what was very negative, that feeling of falling, and turn it into a positive. So now they're associating a very positive feeling, right? Up and down, having fun, the water will hold you up. I'm reframing this concern they have. So now I'm able to get them to start to overcome it. You can use that same principle to any issue that a child may be having. But first you have to identify it. What is causing them to lose it? Why are they crying? Is there something that has caused them pain? Are they hurt, like actually like physically hurt? Or is their feelings hurt, emotionally hurt, right? Or is it simply they're mad because they're not getting what they want? You know, that when you have a child that's mad because they're not getting what they want, it's not just giving them what they want that is going to resolve that. What's going to resolve that is identifying what it is that they want and reframing it to take what they want and turn it into what you want them to do, and come into a meeting in the middle, right? So a child wants sugar, right? Wants a candy bar, some sort of bad stuff, right, that you don't want them to eat. But you want them to eat an orange instead of a Snickers bar, right? So, hey, you know that Snicker bar that's really, really sweet that you like so much, right? Did you know that the orange is sweet too? It's trying to contrast the two and reframe. Specifically, how can you get your kids to listen to you when they are angry? When you have obviously done something that has made them very mad. How can you get them to listen to you and to be able to do what you need them to do? A lot of times they're angry because they're not getting what they want. So what do? Well, the first thing you want to do is ask them, what do you want? Because you may not have any idea exactly what set them off. So do that. So hey, you know, little penguin, what is wrong? What can I do? What happened? Once you identify that, now if they don't answer you, then you have to start to give them some prompts, because they may not be able to articulate exactly what is bothering them. So is it this that I did that's made you so frustrated and upset? Or is it you know, whatever it is that you think that it could be, start to give them some prompts and they'll hone in on something. And then you need to get them to redirect. So you can do something as off the wall as clap or snap, or hey, look at you see that bird? Anything that will get them to change their thoughts. See, the reason I know this is because I deal with so many kids that are scared in the water, and that is the magic trick to get them from being escalated and super upset and crying to where you cannot even talk to them. They can't even think. It's called panic or fight or flight. You're dealing with this fight or flight psychological human nature. So you have to get them to get out of that state. And you can do things like, if you're listening, if you can hear me, touch your nose. And then they won't respond sometimes. Keep doing it. Eventually they'll touch your nose, and then you know that they've honed in on you. That is extremely important to start to redirect them into something that's more positive, that will get them to come out of this bad, negative state. So then you get them to focus in on something that would be positive. So that's where you use your positive reinforcement. That's where you use your whatever it is that incentivizes your kid, whatever it is that motivates them. That's when you say, well, you know, if you can do X that I need you to do because it's really important, then you're going to have this great result. So let's do it, right? So that's the 3-step process to redirect. And really, with any level of crying, if you got the hysterical crying where they're really scared, you want to make sure that you definitely understand what's scaring them. Is, for me, with the water, is, you know, the water will hold you up. Does it feel like the water is not holding you? Even though they may not answer, I know that very well could be the problem. So then I immediately do the redirect. I start snapping, or if I have a light, something that will be blinking, something that will be completely different. Get them to count 1, 2, 3, get them to sing. These are the things that will get them to start to redirect. And then I do the reframing. So remember, the reframing is what takes them from that negative state to the positive state. In between is the redirect. It's the get the brain off of that negative situation. And if the same thing applies if they're angry. Oh, you're so mad. Ooh, I know you're mad. What are you mad about? Is it because of this? Oh, can you count to 3? Say 1, 2. If you can hear me, touch your nose. Can you say the ABCs? You see that bird? Anything that's going to get their brain to be almost confused out of that state. And then it's, hey, we're going to this great place. It's going to be so much fun. I just need you to do this right now and not be angry. We're going to have so much fun today. Isn't that great? Oh, I see a smile. Changing and reframing is going to be the magic that's going to help them to be able to feel more comfortable and to move on beyond that state. And then the third really bad situation that can happen with the kids is that they just throw a complete temper tantrum. They lose their marbles. They throw themselves on the ground. They won't go anywhere. What do? Same thing is, first of all, you want to always ignore the behavior. So whatever it is that they're doing it for a reason. They're doing it because it works, because they have learned that if they do this behavior, then they're going to get a result that they want. You have to change that so that instead of them doing that behavior to get what they want, they start to do what you really need them to do or want them to do to get that other incentive. But you have to reframe it. So once they're already in a habit of using that behavior to leverage you, then you have to ignore it. Like it's not even happening. They're freaking out, crying. It is extremely important you don't react. You don't have a facial expression, just like it's nothing. Because that's going to take away that power, and then you start to get them to redirect. Can you snap? Can you clap? Look at the sky. Look at the birds. Look at the planes. Whatever it is. Oh, there's the bird. Hey, did you see that? Can you count to 3? 1, 2, 3. Touch your nose if you're listening. Get them off of that. And then, hey, if you can just stop doing whatever the heck it is that you're doing that's throwing yourself on the ground, if you can get up off the ground, we can just go to the next stage in our day. We have all this great stuff to do. Why are we wasting time? Let's go. Ready? Let's go. All right, so try it. I know it'll help.